Yo, it's Jared. I'm on chess.com. I'm kibitzing a 15-minute game between Play Chess with a Smile and JSC Mex. Play Chess with a Smile recently commented on my videos. He likes my videos and wants to play a game. So, we'll be playing a game after this one, but finding out what's happening here. So if we quickly just jump back to the start, we're 14 moves in. He played e4 and Alekine's defense. Interesting opening. Right, queen comes out early. Okay. Moves are still being played, so I'm just flicking through this rather quickly. e5 is an interesting shot. I think after e4, maybe c4 is good to kick the queen and expand. Bishop g5, yeah, I don't know. It sort of loses time because of f5. Bishop must go back to e2, so some tempo has been lost. Right. And now c4 is coming in. I think this is okay. And here's where we are at the moment, move 17. So pretty even on time. Who stands better? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns for black, 6 pawns for white. White has the bishop pair. Black is castled. Black has more space. Black is ahead in development. Right, and that was a piece blunder, was it not? Oh no, it was a pawn blunder. Okay, so a pawn has fallen. So black is a pawn up. For example, let's see, bishop takes. No, we're not having that. We're just having castles. I think that's probably a good decision in this situation. I think white probably wants to try and keep pieces on the board now. Simply because he has less space. Probably wants to keep more options open. Makes sense. And he's a pawn down. So keeping pieces on the board makes sense for white. Since black is up a pawn, black is more likely to want to trade off pieces. So black would be very happy with bishop takes d4. I think c5 was a good move. Holding on to that knight on d4. Very good piece. But rook c2 is a great move. Very nice move because the queen was unprotected. The knight was pinned. And now the table's turning a little bit. I don't really think this changes a whole lot. I still like black a lot. White is very, very cramped. Okay. White has some compensation for the pawn. He has the bishop pair. Black's queen, rooks, bishop, knight, they're all very, very active. Whereas white still needs a couple moves to sort of sort out his piece development. But now no, I was thinking bishop takes knight, that still doesn't work. Still wouldn't be favorable for white. It's hard to suggest good moves for white. Okay, bishop g5 is an interesting shot, but can't maybe actually just bishop f6 from black, trying to offer an exchange of bishops. That is black's good bishop on g7. That's also white's good bishop, the dark squared bishop, because of white's pawns on light squares, which means this bishop on c4 is nowhere near as nice as this one because it can't move around as much because of the pawns on light squares. So rook d7 I think was an okay move. I think better was probably just bishop f6, just trying to offer some exchanges, being up a pawn. Although, having said that, the bishop on g7 is very nice. What would White's plan be here? What is White's plan? His rook on f1 is not doing anything, so maybe trying to get that into the game somehow. Rook e1. It's kind of hard to find good moves though. Although I've just seen something, f3 is a possibility, is it not? No, f3 he just plays e3. No, but then bishop takes e3. Okay, the b3 pawn is protected twice. So, but now, as black, I would be thinking of playing something like rook to f8 to put more pressure on the backward b3 pawn. That's now a weakness in White's position. So I believe rook f8, and then after White replies with rook to b2. No, rook b2, the knight moves. Yeah, okay, this bishop f6, I like this bishop f6 move. Cool, cool, got some pieces being exchanged off. Right. Okay, black cannot take that bishop because his rook is unprotected. But now his rook is protected, so what does that mean? I mean, black is still actually not threatening to take the bishop, because his rook is actually still unprotected. It's guarded once by the queen, but White's rook and queen are attacking the rook on d8 twice. And what's the idea with this b4 move? b4. Isn't that just a pawn sack? That leaves the knight on d4 a bit loose. C takes b4. What happens? That knight on d4 could be a bit susceptible to attacks of some sort. Alright, the rook's doubling up on the d file. Is b takes c5 a move? Queen takes c5. It's still pretty ugly. After queen takes c5, black is threatening, I think, knight takes b5, unleashing a discovered attack on the rook on d2, and I believe black would be winning there. Okay, queen takes c5, and then knight takes b5, I think is pretty much winning. So, knight takes b5 is a serious threat. Queen a1, pinning the knight to the king. Okay, moves that come to mind are king g8, but then queen a2 check. Queen a2 check, does that have any weight to it? Queen a2 check, just queen d5, right? Just blocking the diagonal, offering a queen exchange. I believe that is sufficient if queen a2 check is played. Rook d1 just protecting the rook, but now I still think knight takes b5 is the way to go here. Let's see, knight takes b5, rook takes d6. No, if rook takes d6, then there's just knight recaptures on d6, and black is up a piece. So knight takes b5, he must play a takes b5 first. And rook takes... Okay, at the end of this continuation, black is going to be up 2 pawns. It's going to be a queen and pawn ending, if I've calculated this correctly, and black's going to be up 2 pawns and just winning. Although, didn't see that move. Oh, that's just a blunder. That's just a blunder. Oh, and this game has changed quite dramatically, and now white is winning because of that miscalculation. White is now the one that is up a piece, and white's going to be wanting to try and get the queens off to push his passed a pawn. I see. Can he afford to play f takes e and allow the queen check? Probably not. Although I don't really know what else white can do. He doesn't have any checks with his queen. That's probably the only option, actually. King f1. The king can be checked all over the place. Now queen f4 check. Black is probably hoping for a perpetual, and I think he's actually going to get one. Just queen c1 check? Yeah. I believe this is actually a perpetual check. If g3 is played... hold on. Queen e3 check. King f1. King f1. Is there a perpetual for black? Well, queen c1 check. Just keep up the checks. Yeah, or queen e1. And queen e5 check, I believe, is the only check. He's offered a draw, and draw agreed. White didn't try very much to try and continue that game. What a turnaround. Black was completely winning. Okay, but now I'm going to play a game against Play Chess with a Smile. And first I'm just going to close a couple of these windows and accept.